Hey, folks, a live look right there, Jay Powell, he's the Fed chief. They announced another increase of 0.75 percentage point in the base rate that the Fed charges its member banks. So this is something, the whole question now is how long is this going to keep up? And let me make it simple. Basically, the target rate for the Fed, what they actually want to target is an inflation rate of roughly 2%. That's called the target rate. But what's happening is inflation, we're seeing it ourselves at 8%. So they keep raising interest rates now to try to get that to stop. That's what's going on. Let's listen for a second and see what he says. We won't stay too long.
Aiming for. We need to bring our policy stance down to a level that's sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to our 2% objective over the medium term. How will we know that we've reached that level? Well, we'll take into account the full range of analysis and data that bear on that question, guided by our assessment of how much financial conditions have tightened, the effects that tightening is actually having on the real economy and on inflation, taking into consideration lags, as I mentioned. We will be looking at real rates, for example, all across the yield curve and all other financial conditions, and as we make that assessment.
All right, so actually we dip right in, as he said, the 2% target, that's what they want to get back down to, so they're going to have to see signs that they're making progress getting down there. We haven't seen it yet. That may come out in the coming weeks or months, but we all know that we're getting a lot of inflation.
Yeah, and it continues.
Right.
Absolutely.
So this continues and the interest rates continue to go up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works, of course, with the midterm elections, a very big topic. And again, we're a week away from that. And here to discuss that and more is former advisor to Margaret Thatcher and President Trump, John Browne, and columnist for the American Spectator, Jeffrey Lord. John, I'm going to start with you here. So are we in a recession? Are we not? What's going on? When is it going to stop?
Well, I think we've, had 2 quarters of recession, and there was a kick-up in the last quarter, but I doubted it. All these trillions of dollars that have been pulled in. But really, the worry is that the Fed is dealing with a totally fictitious figure, a highly cooked inflation rate of around 8%, when the real rate that we in the shops and buying gasoline are experiencing is more like 16%. So if you take the 4% interest rate now, the Fed rate away from 16, you're left with about 12% negative rate. Very highly inflationary and a tax on everybody, hurting the economy and particularly the poor. But the sad thing is that recession threatens now to go into depression. So we're facing massive stagflation, and we don't have a Paul Volcker or a President Reagan to stop it. So I'm seeing a massive stagflation and widespread poverty and a crisis for the dollar because the thing is already out of hand.